Hey everyone, I am Alex Bennett. I'm the Director of Athletic Performance here at the PGA Tour's Performance Center at TBC Sawgrass. Today's video is going to be all golf-specific moves, swing-specific moves. These are not moves that you would necessarily do in an order, but these are definitely moves that will help you become a better golfer, more efficient with your golf swing. Everything I do is labeled as golf fitness, but you'd be surprised with pretty much all of the strength training we do. It is very much so just strength training. It's building that good foundation. But I work with a lot of high-level golfers, obviously a lot of PGA Tour players. There are moves we do in the gym to simulate issues they're having in the golf swings. Moves that we do in the gym to give them good feels, to try to help them get that feel so it translates from the gym to the golf course. There's a lot of moves in this video that I'm going to do that just might help you with something you're struggling with in the swing. All we're looking for is using the right muscle, working with the ground, and rotating properly and rotating efficiently. These are things that the common golfer really struggles with, especially if you're coming from work, going straight to the golf course, or whatever it may be. I definitely encourage you maybe to take some of these moves and put them in your pre-round warm-up, whether you're going to hit balls or going to play. There just might be something that clicks in the gym that helps you out on the golf course. That's the goal of today's video. So if you really struggle with loading and unloading the golf club, using the ground, using your hips, if you feel like you're someone that swings and you're just kind of going that way, tilting, sliding, this is gonna be a great move for you because we're gonna learn how to use that glute med to stabilize that hip, but also rotate, coil our core, and load into this hip. So this club, we're gonna pretend I got a golf club here. My golf clubs are in my garage, they're not here at work. So I'm gonna use this stack system we have as a golf club, but we're gonna stack this weight. So I'm right-handed. So this would be me loading into the swing. We're gonna do both sides. As always, we're gonna do both sides. But we're gonna load into this leg. So I've got 90% of my weight on this leg. I'm gonna step out, keeping this knee over my foot. I'm not letting it collapse in. If that knee will just keep collapsing, we need to pick a lighter band and we need to get better with our glute medius, that's for sure. So we're gonna step, and then we're gonna rotate, keeping that knee there. As you can see, when I rotate, I feel this glute. I'm not rotating and letting everything collapse. I'm really staying engaged. My foot's gripping the ground. So we're gonna do 10 reps. Just rotate, and what's gonna happen, you're gonna feel that core as you rotate and coil into that hip. And you're also gonna feel that right glute really having to stabilize. You'll probably feel a little bit of left glute as well. But this is a great move, because we're really teaching those muscles to work and stabilize our rotation like they should in the golf swing. So this through side is just as important. We're gonna step, feel that left glute, stabilize. If you're someone that has a lot of lead side injuries or just knick-knack pains, these are really important for you because we need to get that lead side to work a little more efficiently, especially through that rotation. And it might not feel like I'm making a huge step, but if you pick the right band, you're really having to stabilize. You're gonna feel a lot of that glute. And as you can see there, my left side gets a little sticky rotating through. It always has. As a one-sided sport, I played a lot of baseball growing up, played a lot of hockey, played a lot of golf. Everything is going this way. Really easy to side bend this way. Right side of my rib cage gets compressed. Left side gets a little overextended. And what ends up happening is that left side doesn't want to rotate. That right side, being a little compressed, doesn't want to allow me to rotate through that left side. But as you saw there, my rotation got a little better with each rep. These are moves you can definitely do. You can just do one set like I just did there if you feel pretty good. But you can definitely do 2 or 3 sets if you feel like this is something you really struggle with, or you felt like what I just did there with each rep, it got a little better, a little better, a little better. That's a great move to do right before you go to the course. And honestly, throw one of these in your bag, break this out on the range, go in to hit some shots, feel the difference. Now, I'm always someone that felt like they swung it better, they played better when their legs were a little more active, their torso was used to rotating. So we're gonna take that club straight out in front of us, we're gonna lunge, we're gonna rotate, and then we're gonna push back. So you're gonna feel that quad. We're gonna lunge, stabilize, and that push back right there, we're gonna feel that quad really. You should feel quad, a little bit of anterior tibialis as we push back. We're really working on stabilizing that knee as we rotate and then push back. We're gonna do 10 reps. Nice and easy, don't rush through it. We want quality rotation. We wanna stabilize that trunk, stabilize that lower body. rotate with the shoulders and that thoracic spine. But I want you to really feel down here that you're pushing off the ground, especially with this left side. Push off the ground. I don't know how many I did. We'll say that's 10. But the reason I want you to feel that push is because when we get to the top of the swing, as we come down, we push the ground away with that lead side. Feel like that ground is going that way as our foot's going back. All the great players that create a lot of speed, that do a good job clearing that hip, that's the motion of their foot. When we put somebody on a swing catalyst and we see their foot tracking, that foot tracking, they load, it goes back into their heel, it goes out into the ball of the foot, and then back. I don't want you to think about that on the range because it's definitely gonna mess you up, but that's why we do these exercises before we hit balls, so we don't have to think about that motion so much when we're trying to swing a club. Now, obviously I work with players that travel all over the globe and play golf, and I always tell them there's no excuse to not getting a workout in. You can put bands in your bag, you can put bands in your travel bag, hook them up to a hotel door, hook them up to your car, whatever it may be. So this one, we're gonna take a band, we're gonna do a little lunge row. Same principle, we're really loading this lead side, a little bit of rotation in so we feel that glute, but we're gonna push out of the ground, and with this side, we're really driving that rotation up. So this is really good just for syncing up that lower and upper body, but we're also loading the hip down here at the bottom, and then we're unloading the hip, and we're getting that lead side to pull us through just as we should. In the golf swing, I'm gonna switch to my natural side. So I'm loading my trail hip, my right hip, and I'm getting this left side to pull me through, but it's all initiated out of the ground, just like the swing would be. I'm pushing with that right leg up and out. This is one of my favorite moves. Kind of get that ground force connection with the body. But like I said, we're getting the legs heated up, getting this lat heated up. We're working on pulling our lead side through as our trail side drives, just as we would in the golf swing. So there's another band you can just throw in your golf bag. We're really gonna try to work on activating those obliques, feeling that coil, that power that we can store in our core as we create width with our arms. And we're gonna let this band kind of pull our arms down, and we're gonna really feel that core active. We're gonna feel like those shoulders are stabilizing. So right hand grip, it's gonna be just like you would if a golf shaft was out here, club head's down there, we're gripping it just like that. So I like to do a little split grip because I wanna push with this right arm, or this left arm, sorry, as my right arm folds behind me just like it would in the golf swing. So we're driving up. So right here, I'm feeling core. It's kind of hard to talk during this one. Core, right arm, and then I'm letting this drive down just like I would. I'm feeling that core really work. Everything's connected to the arms, to the shoulders. Driving down into my lead side. I'm loading my right. But you're gonna feel like a lot of stability and strength at the top, and then do a few of these, go hit a couple balls. You're gonna take that club, it's gonna feel like a feather at the top. You're gonna feel like you have a lot of stability. For someone that loses a lot of club head stability at the top, you feel like that club just kind of takes your arms for a ride. It's a great move to do because you're learning how to use those big muscles to help stabilize and rotate and stabilize that club at the top. It's so important to have stability up here at the top. If you don't, you're kind of just, your body's gonna react to whatever the club head does. And if you don't have that stability, a lot of times you see that club kind of fall back, and what ends up happening is the hips come forward, and then it's all timing, it's all hands. So get used to really having to use that core, use those big muscles to create width, and then use those same muscles to help drive that club down. I haven't seen too many bad ball strikers that get the club head down in front of their body coming down. Those guys don't get into too much trouble. They're some of the most accurate players on tour, some of the best ball strikers in the world. Get that right arm and that left arm down in front of that hip as everything goes. You see a lot of guys that get inconsistent. They go that way, that right hip's out here, the arms and the club get left behind, and And then it's basically all down to timing and hands. And if you don't have good hands, you're probably not gonna have good timing. So building that stability at the top, getting those big muscles to interact with the club is just so important. But like I said, throw that in your bag, give it a try, go hit some balls, see how it feels. So this one right here, you do not need a heavy band. You don't need anything crazy. You can even use like a 5 to 10 pound dumbbell. You don't even need the band. The cable machine can be a little tricky just because of the weights. You can't really get into a smooth rhythm with the weight place. If you have a really good cable machine or if you have a tonal, Kaiser, you can use one of those. We're gonna go into golf posture. This right arm is straight. We're gonna feel like we just rotate back, feel those external rotators working. The thing I don't want to see people do is they go back and then they just let it throw their arm through. We're actually working those external rotators to help us decelerate. In the end, it's actually going to get us more range of motion going back, more stability at the top of our swing. So we're just loading. I want to see you load into that right hip just as you would in the golf swing too. Don't get sloppy with it where you're just kind of pushing back with the foot. Load in, get in an athletic position, and then slowly lower it down. This is great to open up the mid back as well. Work on that strength through those external rotators. Get that thoracic rotation. We're gonna switch, keep that left hip stable. Don't let it just open. We're not just finishing in the golf swing. We're trying to get that mid back to work properly and really rotate through the ball while our hip and our core stay relatively stable. It's gonna move with it a little bit. But another important move, not only if you want to swing the club better, but if you want to have healthy shoulders and a healthy low back and play a lot of golf. So a lot of amateur players struggle with separation between the hips and shoulders. And when they do try to increase that separation, a lot of times the low back starts bothering them. They might even throw it out. That's a product of not using the core, not having the core stability to support that separation. A lot of times we're not separating because our body is actually trying to protect our low back because it's going, hey, if we separate this much, we don't have the core stability. A muscle is going to react that you don't want to react. A lot of times it's those QLs in your low back, those two muscles right through here that tighten up, trying to keep you stable when really we want that core to be engaged. And that's what we want really to be controlling that rotation. That is what it's there for. That's one of the main functions of our core, is to stabilize the rotation around our spine. We're meant to keep our lumbar very stable through a strong core, and we're meant to rotate with our thoracic. What ends up happening a lot of times is our thoracic is stuck, our core is not strong, and we rotate with our lumbar. That is just not meant to do that. People get low back pain, people get low back injuries. So this is a great move to not have that happen to you. So we're gonna come out here. This is a pretty strong bend. This is a decent strength. We're just gonna have it right out here. We're in a good neutral posture too. We're not arched, we're tucked. We're staying right here, and now we're gonna rotate just like that. So I'm feeling a good amount of core here, quite a bit of obliques, and I'm feeling no low back. So I'm keeping that tension in the core, and I'm rotating. It's definitely not the easiest of moves. That core is gonna be burning. I feel a ton through here. But like I said, great move if you want to create some more separation, which in turn obviously helps you create some speed. But let's do it in a safe way. Let's use the right muscles. Let's use that core. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like I said, you can definitely use that as a routine if you want kind of a different functional routine that's just focused on kind of golf motions. But this is a lot of maintenance work and a lot of accessory work we throw into our strength work, especially with our tour players. Everyone swings the club a little different, and everybody has their own imbalances, their own asymmetries, they have their own issues. So we're always trying to make it as individual to the person as possible. Obviously with these videos, it's impossible to do that. I'm trying to reach a wider audience, obviously, than having one-on-one with someone in here that I've done an assessment on, and I know exactly what they struggle with in their swing, what imbalances and asymmetries they have in their body, or limitations they have when it comes to mobility. But this is a great little routine, not only to improve your golf swing, get you ready to play at a higher level and more consistently, but like I always say, it's gonna protect you from those injuries. It's gonna teach the right muscle groups to work when we need them to work and how we want them to work. So, as I always said, if you haven't liked and subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you do. If you have any comments or if you have any questions or suggestions on video topics you want me to cover in the future, please leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to get around to them. Thanks, guys.